guys? The Bench Buddies are back, and we are doing another bracketology video, but it is just me again, no tie. We are going to have a good video here as it is updated as of today, March 11th. So, you have some good games, upsets, automatic qualifiers, everything's included in this video. So let's get into it. The first three teams, the biggest key teams right now, top overall seed, of course, Gonzaga. SMU, they're looking like they might squeak in, who knows? And Indiana, after the upset win yesterday, coming back over Michigan is the last team in. But, Baylor losing as well. Them supposed to be a 1 seed. We're just going to have to see where they fall in this video. On the bubble right now, as I said before, we have those Indiana, SMU, and Michigan included in the last 4 buys. You have Michigan and Notre Dame, Xavier, Wake Forest already out of their tournaments. Virginia Tech, respectively, Oklahoma, VCU, the teams that are on the bubble on the bad side all still have a really good shot to, come in and steal some bids from these guys. But I think the team that could make a run out of these would be either Wyoming or Oklahoma if they can somehow find a way in, because if they win one and they get hot, I think they're a team that could be deadly. We'll start with the West. Of course, the number 1 seed and the number 1 overall seed, Gonzaga. I don't see them having a problem in the first round, so they'll move on. And they will be facing TCU, moving on over San Diego State, advancing to the round of 32 after those wins against Kansas last week and now Baylor yesterday. I'm very confident they'll get that done, but they will lose to Gonzaga, and Gonzaga will move to the Sweet 16. UConn versus North Texas could be a very good game. North Texas is a very underrated team. No one's really talking about them in mid-major, but I still have UConn moving on, and I still have Arkansas moving on over Vermont as well. But that should be a great game as well. I'd say these two could be the potential upset games here for sure. But give me Arkansas to move on over UConn. In some videos I've took UConn, some videos I've taken Arkansas to move on very far. But right now they got to play each other, and I'm going to go with Arkansas right now. So that sets up a Sweet 16 matchup with Arkansas and Gonzaga. I'm going to go with Gonzaga right now. I know they lost to St. Mary's, but they won their conference, revenged them. And it wasn't even really like a game, and Chet didn't even play that good. Neither did Timmy in the first half. So they're looking pretty good, outside of their star players. So they'll be moving on to the Elite Eight. And then we have Alabama, Michigan. This is a great matchup for Michigan. I think you're getting a super inconsistent team in Alabama. Same with Michigan, though, but I think Michigan has more size to, have an advantage in this game. So I'll take the upset Michigan Wolverines to move on. And they will be playing Texas Tech, and Michigan will get the upset there. I think, Texas Tech is a team that is very capable of getting upset. Their offense lacks consistency. And if Michigan, can somehow play some really good defense, I think they can move on to the Sweet 16. In San Francisco, Colorado State, mid-major teams conference, got a good matchup at 7-10. I'm going to go with the 7 in Colorado State to move on. In Wisconsin is going to make it all the way to the Sweet 16. They're going to get past Georgia State. They're going to get past Colorado State. So pretty much essentially almost all chalk for me in the first round, besides Michigan. And then Wisconsin's going to move on, obviously, as I said as well. So they'll be playing Michigan. And if I'm Michigan going this far, I might as well take them to the Elite Eight. Why not? Michigan beats Wisconsin. It's a very favorable matchup. Ty and I were talking about it. We kind of wanted to play Wisconsin as the 1 seed if we were to win yesterday. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, and they wouldn't even have played Wisconsin. But that's going to set up a matchup for Gonzaga and Michigan. And this is where Michigan gets throttled, and Gonzaga is going to move to the Final Four. Moving to the South, we have Arizona at the 1, and they deserve to be the 1, and the team that no one saw coming. And they are going to make it to the next round. I don't see them, someone pulling off a miraculous upset there. North Carolina, Iowa State, I think that's a no-brainer. North Carolina, they're on a tear recently and, beat Duke, which propelled them up here, especially, they were in the bubble conversation for a little bit, but now they're at a comfortable 8 seed. And I think North Carolina, Arizona is going to be a very good game, underrated game. I would say that's probably the most likely, 1 seed to get upset before the Sweet 16. But I just don't see it happening here with Arizona moving on to the Sweet 16. We have Texas, Providence. They're going to face each other. The two teams I've, really kind of set my standard on this year. Providence is going to move on to the Sweet 16 and face that Arizona Wildcat team. But the Wildcats are just going to dominate here. I think Providence luck runs out, but it was a great year for them. But Arizona's moving to the Elite Eight. St. Mary's, Rutgers. That's going to be a very good game for 6-11. I'm going to go with St. Mary's here just because I know that they're capable of beating Gonzaga. And Rutgers, we've seen them pull off 3 straight victories over AP ranked teams. But I just don't see them getting past St. Mary's here. And Colgate will upset Tennessee. I'm still not high on Tennessee. I know that they're been on a tear recently, even the top 10 in our rankings. But give me Colgate, a team that, they've been in the tournament 3 straight years now, and I think they're due for an upset win. So this is the one. And St. Mary's, Colgate, give me St. Mary's to move on to the Sweet 16. Michigan State and Loyola. I mean, this is an interesting pick. Whoever wins is essentially probably going to lose to Duke. Well, they are going to lose to Duke because I have Duke moving on. But I'm going to go Michigan State here just because I think they'll win one and then lose one. So Coach K won't get eliminated to Michigan State. We got St. Mary's and Duke, and I think this is no-brainer as well. We got Duke moving on. And we also have Duke moving on in the Elite Eight over Arizona. So we have Gonzaga and Duke on the top of our bracket in the Final Four. And at the 1 seed, we got Baylor. They're still there after losing to TCU last night. But if a 2 seed could run the table and win a conference tournament, I would not be surprised if Baylor were to fall. But right now, they are deserving to be there after the run they've been on. That 8-9 matchup will be a tough matchup for them. And I'm going to have Memphis moving on. Ty and I were, thinking Memphis, oh my gosh, how are they even up here ranked in the bubble? And now they're in an 8 seed as they've been just absolutely winning just consistently. Somehow they found consistency, but it's going to run out in the round of 32. They're going to lose to Baylor. So Baylor's going to move on to Sweet 16. In Illinois, we'll move on over Toledo. And Wake Forest is going to beat Wyoming, and they're going to beat LSU to move to play Illinois in the round of 32, but their luck will run out as well. Illinois will be moving on. So you'll have Baylor and Illinois facing off in the Sweet 16. Give me Illinois, Kofi Coburn. That's all you need to know about that matchup. And when Baylor is out with Chama Chachachuan, I think Chachua, I still can't say his name. Without him, that's a key piece that they're going to miss, especially when you have to guard Kofi. So Illinois will be moving on to the Elite Eight. And Davidson will upset Ohio State. So I have another 6-11 upset. But Villanova is going to absolutely throttle them in the round of 32. And Villanova will be moving on to the Sweet 16. And then we have USC Miami, 2 teams that could be some frauds around this time. I don't know, but we're gonna go with Miami to move on, and Kentucky as well to move on. Kentucky will beat Miami pretty easily. So it'll be Villanova and Kentucky facing off, and I'm liking Jay Wright's squad right now. I've taken Villanova to win it all. I've taken Kentucky to win it all, but I like Villanova. They did squeak out that close win yesterday against St. John's. I think that's just because they haven't played in a while. Since last Sunday. Normally they're playing, every 2 or 3 days. So a little different period there, but I think Villanova here, it has a favorable matchup, and this is a game that they can win. So we have Illinois and Villanova in the Elite Eight. Should be a great game. But I'm going to go with Villanova. Jay Wright's squad gets back to the Final Four to face Gonzaga, and that'll be a great matchup. But we got to talk about the Midwest first, with Kansas being the 1 seed, and they will move on. Marquette, Murray State. Give me Murray State. I've been high on the Racers all year, but I'm going to go with Kansas here. So there's no really huge upsets for the 1 seeds this time around in my bracketology. So they'll be moving on to Sweet 16. South Dakota State will upset Iowa, my 12-5 matchup, another one. UCLA, Princeton. I think that could be a trouble game for UCLA, but they will squeak by. But they won't squeak by South Dakota State. South Dakota State will move on in the Sweet 16. It seems like there's always a double-digit seed that moves on, and South Dakota State is that seed for me this year in the Sweet 16. But they will lose to Kansas because, Kansas, South Dakota State, come on, that's a no-brainer. So Kansas will be moving on to the Elite Eight, and we'll see who they'll be playing here. But first, we got Houston and Notre Dame. I don't know how to pick this one. I think I'll go with Houston just to play the safe bet. 2 teams that have played really well this year, but once Sasser went down for Houston, we've started to see them falter a little bit. So I got to go with Houston here, even though, Notre Dame has had a great year, which has been very underrated. No one's really talked about it. They did lose yesterday in the ACC tournament. The 2 seed, it just faltered like that. So they needed some wins there to propel them, but they didn't get that. Purdue, Montana State, give me Purdue, and give me Purdue over Houston as well. So they'll be moving to Sweet 16. I like Creighton and Boise State. I like both those teams. Hopefully they don't match up because I think they both could make a surprising run in Sweet 16. I'm going to go with Boise State. The Mountain West is putting out some good teams this year. So we're going to go with Boise State this round of 32. And Auburn will get past St. Peter's. Didn't even know that was a school. And Boise State's going to pull the upset on Auburn. There's my big upset before the Sweet 16. Boise State is a team that no one's talking about out in the Mountain West. I mean, we know the conference, but no one's really specifically talking about one team because they're along this 7, 8, 9 line. So we're going to go with Boise State to face Purdue in the Sweet 16. Give me Purdue. The luck runs out for Boise State. It was a great year for them. So I have Purdue and Kansas in the Final Four, or in the Elite Eight to get to the Final Four. And we're going to go with Kansas. We got to go with some chalk here. It's a tough task when you got, Kansas to deal with. And Purdue with Jaden Ivey, if he's inconsistent or this tournament run, I think this is the game he'd be most, least effective. Sorry. I got to go with Kansas as the 1 seed here. For my Final Four, I have Gonzaga versus Villanova and Duke versus Kansas. But we'll start with the Gonzaga and Villanova game. Gonzaga, we know their size with Chet, Timmy, their stars there. And then we got Villanova, the team that's flown under the radar all year, 7 or 8 losses. Most of those losses were early in the year against really good ranked opponents at the time. But now they're starting to hit their stride. I think, they're looking really good to win the Big East tournament. And I'm going to go with Villanova here over Gonzaga. Give me the Wildcats, the championship. And who will they be playing? They'll be playing the Duke Blue Devils. Coach K gets back to the championship. They're going to just squeak by Kansas in a classic. Duke, I don't know. They just have a run going right now. I know that they lost to UNC. Whatever, you lose Coach K's last home game. At the end of the year, it's not going to matter because Duke is going to win the national championship over Villanova. Coach K goes out as a winner. And, what a great career he's had, and what better way to go out with a national championship. But that's going to be it for the video today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as we're almost to 100 subscribers once we'll be doing our giveaway. Hit that like button, comment below what you guys think on Bracketology right now. We got less than a week till the round of 64 games start, and, just a few days away from Selection Sunday. So make sure you guys are here tuning into our channel as you're going to stay up to date with all things March Madness. The Bench Buddies are out.
She never called back.